Unified meditation is so much about thinking and feeling as much as it is about soul and being, doing, as well as going in the spiritual world. The problem with the mind is that because we are all born with one and we start to think and feel at early ages, we think that we know about the mind. However, it's a very complex entity. There are many books regarding how to use the mind. There are books on different ways of thinking. Some examples are creative thinking, critical thinking, analytical thinking, lateral thinking, parallel thinking, systematic thinking, deductive thinking, inductive thinking. However, in unified meditation, we are not concerned with all those dimensions of thinking, although they are essential to lead a happy and successful life. Instead, we want to limit ourselves to the various functions of the mind that we need on a day-to-day basis to live with ourselves as well as in society. So I have developed a certain model of the mind which you might not fully agree with, but I ask you to have an open mind. In my teachings, the mind is as represented in the diagram. Take a look at the first two rectangles in your left. The mind is the colored rectangle in the center of both rectangles, and then it receives a stimulus and it gives out an actual action. What I tried to show with the colors and circles in the rectangles is that in both kinds of minds, different parts of this mind were activated in order to achieve the actual action. The segment represented by the black lines on both the rectangles represents the limited area of the mind that has been used in order to turn that stimulus into an actual action. You can see that in normal people, only a fraction of the mind is used. This is because they haven't perceived the mind fully, and this is because they do not know how it is made. Now, the 6 components meditation will open up the ability for you to make use of the whole mind in order to turn the stimulus into an actual action. Now, that action will be extremely wise because it is the most well thought of action, which used all the parts of the mind consciously. So that is the concept of mind in the unified meditation teachings. Now let me describe to you what is this mind made up of. Look at the big rectangle in the middle. On the left hand side you will see the various sense organs like the tongue, eyes, ears, sense of touch, and nose. So this is how we get the stimulus. Then on the other end, you see somebody is walking, using the computer, talking, driving, or working. So these would be the decisions that we take with our minds. Now, the most important part is the structure of the mind I have shown in the diagram. So broadly, the mind is divided into feelings and thoughts. Many intellectuals would disagree that feelings is a part of the mind, but even the most scholarly person has got to deal with feelings, and they will impact even his most dry intellectual decisions. The next part, as you'll notice, is that the mind is made up of mainly 3 components. First one is the memory, which represent the outer circle, and then the inner circle is represented by the actual mind. Again, this mind is mainly divided into four quadrants. This is based on the book called Creative Brain by Ned Herman. So, using the same lines that represent the quadrants, as well as the periphery of the rectangle, which has two colors, as you will notice, red and blue. This represents what I call the intelligence. There are two types of intelligence. One is the intelligence to be able to select the information from the stimulus, and the second one is the intelligence to decide which of the many options we will choose to complete the final action. The mind is divided into four quadrants, as I told you earlier on. The first one is about analysis of the data that you perceive. The second one is the planning process. The third one is the way we relate to the world. And the fourth one is the actual synthesis of various ideas, either from memory or from data, to produce a novel solution. I understand that this concept might have seemed a bit heavy for you. However, you'll have to forgive me because the scope of this section is not to elaborate fully on this framework of mind in the unified meditation. If I had to take up that particular objective, then it will fill up another 500-page book that I will put in my pipeline, and I hope that you will be able to read it when it is published. For now, all you have to know is that the mind consists of memory, actual mind, and intelligence. Then there will be the component of feelings and thoughts in every data that you receive from the sense organs. And the idea is to analyze the data, plan what to do, relate to your surroundings, and combine all of this with your memory and innovative ideas to produce the best action. In this way, you will be able to fully use your mind power. So basically, now you know that your mind performs all those functions, and during your unified meditation, you should try to slowly uh, activate more and more functions and try to be aware of them. I apologize that I might have left you dry and wanting for more information on this topic. But again, this is a book on meditation, and cannot deviate myself too much into the art of thinking and feeling. But through the following meditation techniques, you will be getting more clarity on that particular model. Again, many of those techniques can be researched online, and I will only give the unified meditation perspective on each of them. So, when we are being mindful, you have to use your intelligence excessively. For example, if you see somebody and you disagree with what that person has done, you have to activate your intelligence and try to understand the reason why that person behaved in a particular way instead of feeling the negative feelings you are having. So when you feel a negative feeling, meditate and activate your intelligence as shown in the diagram. For now, you just have to imagine that the intelligence is some kind of disk that rotates around the mind, that filters the data that comes in. Then before you jump into a decision. Use the out intelligence to decide whether it's the right course of action and what is the best thing you can do given the current situation. The idea here is to sit in meditation before making any conclusions about the data you receive and about which course of action you will take. That is being mindful. We tend to think that being mindful is not to hurt others, but that is not limited to a discipline, but instead it is the activation of the intelligence. The noting process is best to improve the performance of your memory. So close your eyes, and when you are practicing this meditation, try to catch every thought and then ask yourself from where it came. Then slowly the memory will reveal the earlier thought. And then ask where that thought came from. Again, after a short pause, the third memory will come into light. Continue until you can reach the stimulus that actually started the thought process. In this way, you have been able to increase the power of your memory, or you can say the muscles of your memory. Repeat the same process for the feelings and reach the original feeling. This is a very powerful meditation that will have impact on many aspects of your life, from studies to conversation with people to managing your own feelings. If you remember in my untold meditation story, I mentioned that I used to meditate 6 to 7 hours a day for a year. This is the meditation that I practiced the most. It helped me improve the power of my mind. Also, it improved my capacity to remember and to use memory proactively rather than to be driven by it. It's very difficult to reach a state of no mind where there are no thoughts and no feelings, but you can achieve it at least for a few minutes. This is an exercise of the mind. You can choose a particular idea or problem. Let's say you are thinking about a task that your boss gave you to complete. Close your eyes and sit in meditation. Now recall the four quadrants of the mind. The idea is to use all the four functions of the mind to complete the task. Ask yourself, how does this current assignment relates to your job, and how will it benefit you in the future? Next is analyze the various options that you have, the various effects it will have, the advantage and disadvantage of each course of action that you are planning. Next, make a step-by-step plan of how to put that into action. Finally, try to get inspiration from old memories or experiences, as well as unrelated subject matters. Once you're able to complete all the aspect of the mind, it just gets tired and you just feel the state of no mind, because everything has been covered, all the aspects of the mind has been used, and it is just tired. That is the true state of no mind. Not that you don't do any work, it is that you do so much that nothing's left to do. One of the best use of meditation is to get insights, to break through the status quo and challenge the convention. It is about coming with such innovative ideas that are even shocking to yourself. So, in this meditation, the idea is to close your eyes and focus fully on the quadrant of synthesis. Let your intelligence try to get information from the memory and test out various combinations or courses of actions with your intelligence, that is the out intelligence. Keep your synthesis mind super active and then at one point it will just shut down. There will be a feeling of tiredness when, after a short while, an insight will expose itself. That is your insight. Try to use this technique by starting with any difficult problem that you are facing. A good practice is to read thoroughly or do some research on YouTube thoroughly before you sit down in meditation. In this way, your memory will be filled with enough data to feed the synthesizing force of your mind. Repeating yourself words of affirmation is also a very good use of your mind. This will help your relate quadrant of your mind, telling yourself that you are a winner, that you can do it, that everything's gonna be all right, increases the strength of that particular area. By being self-affirmative, you will be finding yourself able to relate to other people much more easily, as well as you will develop the ability to relate any topic to your existence and to daily life. You might wonder how my logic applies that affirmation will help in the process of relating any subject to oneself and your reality and why it matters. So let me explain shortly. Through affirmation, you increase your self esteem and you are aware of your own concern. So, for example, if somebody teaches you about electromagnetism, you will find that you will have the right and the duty to ask yourself, how does that relate to me? Because you don't care that it's important for the exams, but you care that it should be important to you. So when you have this need that anything is needed to be relatable to you because you are important, then it increases your mind's power dramatically. So, just taking the example of electromagnetism, because it's such a vague topic, the mind will ask, where does it apply in my daily life? Through a Google search, you will realize that the theory of this subject is used to generate electricity that we use in our home, and that would be based on Michael Faraday's laws and as well as Maxwell's laws. And then you would ask more pertinent questions because you are important. You have the right to know. How else does electromagnetism affect me? Where can I feel it? Then you will also realize that you can feel it in the form of light, which is another form of electromagnetic waves. But in order to increase this capacity of your mind, you have to feel that you are worthy, and self-esteem is very important, and that's where affirmation comes in. Now, the reason why we need to be able to relate anything to ourselves is that it is such an important part of mind work. It helps us increase our thinking capacity as well as our remembering capacity. We forget a movie that hasn't hit a chord in us, but we never forget a movie that affected us at the core. So the idea of increasing this capacity to relate of our mind is at the core of having a very powerful mind and a powerful memory. This particular meditation technique of affirmation, I do it daily, and it's almost automatic now that I don't even have to be aware of doing it. But I attribute it to my very powerful understanding and mind power as well as memory. I never have to read a book twice because I remember it, because I can relate to the book, meaning that the various topics, I can find a connection between my own daily life and myself. And so it hits a chord. It can be done infinitely. And that's how I'm able to read a lot very fast and never forget something that I learned.